And now to our interview segment. My guest is the chairman of the Ikeja branch of the Nigerian Bar, Yinka Farounbi. In this interview, we talk about the allegations trailing the suspension of some judges by the NJC, the options open to the judges, and the need for certainty of laws. Last week, the NJC moved against 3 judges. We read of allegations of falsification of age, but first let me ask, did it come to you as a surprise?
Well, thank you for that question. Honestly, it does not come to me as a surprise at all. And the reason why it does not come to me as a surprise is not necessarily because those allegations against them are right or wrong, but it does not come to me as a surprise in the sense that if there is a body that can employ, that can promote, and that can sanction or fire, then if any of those acts are done, then it shouldn't be a surprise because it's within the power of that institution to do it. That's why it is not a surprise to me.
Assuming that these allegations are true, how is it possible that lawyers lie their way to the bench? Is it that there are not enough checks at that level? Because I know that the NBA comments on the caliber of persons that are appointed.
The problem is not with the appointment. When a case is like falsification of age, the problem is not with appointment. The problem is with in what way do we manage the information at our disposal? Before you can be appointed a judge, you must submit your CV. In your CV, your date of birth will definitely be there. If there is opportunity for me to retrieve those date of birth and replace it, then it means the information is not being well managed. The documentation is not being well managed. My personal file, who are supposed not to see again after submitting it, if it is not kept away from me and I have access to it, then something fundamental is wrong. So I think that is the problem. Otherwise, it will be difficult for someone who has gotten a record and he knew absolutely the age he put down when he was entering the service, for him to retrieve it is most unfortunate. And that's why we advocate that it is high time we get all these things computerized. We cannot go analog forever. For instance, with a press of a button, someone should be able to determine the age of any public officer in this country. So when we have that, it will be difficult when it is known that every Dick, Tom, and Harry has access to that information. Then it will be difficult for me to falsify or to attempt to doctor whatever I put down there before.
This is just assuming that the allegations are true.
That is why I said what I said, assuming those allegations were true, because we are all human beings, we could make mistakes. So at the end of the day, it may be dictated that the NJC even made a mistake.
But what are the options open to the suspended judges?
Well, as it is, and if they are very, very confident of themselves that the allegations leveled against them are not true, then the option is to approach the court to set aside that suspension. That's the most potent and the legal option with them. Or they may decide to go administratively by way of repetitioning the NJC that, oh, you said I did this, that can never be true, this is the true station of things, this and that. I am sure those two options are open to them. But the one that is fundamental is the legal option of approaching the court to let the court know whether it is right or wrong.
Do we have any precedent where the NJC has reversed itself?
Well, there's no precedent of, none that I know that NJC has reversed itself. However, I know the court has done a couple of reversions before.
Is there a time frame within which the governors must act on the recommendations of the NJC?
No. To the best of my knowledge, there is no time frame within which the governor could do that act. However, it is expected of the governor to do it within a reasonable period of time. Though at the discretion of the governor, but then you and I, we know what could be termed as reasonable. We don't expect the governor to sit on it for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. No, we do not expect that.
Let's move on from the NJC to the Administration of Criminal Justice Law, which also came into focus during the week. The Senate wanted to review the act to remove the CCT from the courts that the Administration of Criminal Justice provisions will be applied to. I know that they've since dropped that move, but what did you think of it when you heard it?
Well, the first time I heard that some legislation will be before the National Assembly, particularly the Senate, for amendment, and the CCB, CCT, and the Administration of Criminal Justice happened to be one. Well, naturally, I was shocked, very, very shocked, and disappointed.
Right.
Well, the reason why I'm a little bit disappointed about is this. You see, you may have good intention. The amendment may be the best amendment in the whole world. However, the timing is extremely wrong. It is fundamentally wrong. When you look at it, it's an open secret that the Senate, the whole Senate is on trial. Because the truth of the matter is that if the head of an institution is on trial, then the whole body is on trial. So the whole Senate is on trial. For the Senate that is on trial to contemplate amending the law under which the Senate is being tried, then speaks volume. Speaks volume. And like I said, no matter the good intention, no matter how beautiful the amendment will have been, timing is of the essence. And it is and it will be viewed, and I'm sure that it was viewed by Nigerians as trying to legislate in anger. And when you want to legislate in anger, it means you want to correct certain things and make certain things to fall within your own circle. It's unfortunate.
As lawyers who have practiced and used the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, are you satisfied with the document that we have in place now? Because I know, yes, it was designed to remove delays, but would you say that we finally have a perfect document?
All over the world, you can't have it right with any legislation. You can only make do with what you have, hoping that as time progresses, amendment will be introduced that will be able to take care of certain issues. Because it's not everything that can be foreseen at a particular period when the legislation is being contemplated. So you cannot have a legislation that will be all encompassing. There will always be one lacuna or the other. So an Administration of Criminal Justice is not an exception. There will always be one. The fact that we have not been seeing it today does not mean that it will not happen tomorrow. Because what you are looking at, we are seeing the most fundamental change we had under it is the elimination of delay in criminal trials. But when you now go again that, you don't sacrifice justice on the altar of expediency, then you know you can be fathoming so many other things again. So definitely the law is good as we have it today, but there will always be one thing or the other to be amended as time goes on. It cannot cater for all purposes. And when you look at it holistically, I'm sure that there will be some areas that we are not even looking at that is likely to cause even the delay we are trying to eliminate or injustice. And like the law will say, it's better for 1,000 criminals to escape than one innocent man to be punished unnecessarily.
If you were to recommend any law to the National Assembly for reforms, what legislation would it be?
If I am to recommend honestly, and I mean honestly, what I will recommend is our criminal law. We should be able to have a codified criminal law that will harmonize all those crimes, all those offenses. For instance, today, the ICPC has its own law. The EFCC has law under which it operates. We have the criminal code, we have the criminal procedure act, we have this, we have that. Why don't we sit down and look at all this law and attempt to have a uniform codified criminal law? Because the problem of this country has always been some people trying to circumvent the provisions of these laws. Now, if we are talking that we want to move forward, we want to be advanced, then we must have certainty in law. I'm not saying that, the whole country should be subjected to a particular law, but in what way can we harmonize our law? If a state like Lagos State, because of the peculiarity, may have this, a state like Niger may have this and this and that. But then, the one that is universal to us, why don't we harmonize those ones and make it to be certain rather than you go, oh, this is EFCC Act, oh, this is ICPC Act, oh, this is Code of Conduct Tribunal Act or Code of Conduct Bureau Act, oh, this is a Public Officers Act, this is that. Let us harmonize all this and make them to have not only backing teeth, or not only backing effect, but biting teeth too. With that, then we may be able to have some sanity in our society, because we need this law to sanitize this country, particularly the one that we're dealing with corruption. We need to harmonize it, and we need to look at it very holistically. Which one is not good for our system? But because when you go to our criminal law, some of our criminal law, we still have fine of 20 naira, 20 this, 20 that, which is not relevant to someone who even want to buy pure water today. So I would suggest that we need a revolution in that area. And more importantly, we need a people-oriented constitution. Not the kind of constitution we have and say, we, the people of Nigeria, when we don't know anything about it. Let us have a real, the constitution is the ground norm of the nation. Let us have a constitution that will satisfy and take care of the yearnings of everybody in this country. Everybody in this country. So that everybody will be able to have equal opportunity under it. And the benefit and the burdens under the constitution should be borne with equal mind and equal, do I say status now? So that it's not as if someone is above the law and someone is beneath the law, this and that. And the chapter 12 of our constitution must be expressly made to be justiciable. Because when you look at chapter 12 of our constitution, if that chapter alone could be strictly adhered to by any government in power in Nigeria, then no Nigeria will suffer.
There is a need for the uniformity of the nation's criminal laws. There is also a need to make the Constitution more people-oriented, as well as give effect to Chapter 2 of the Constitution. These are some of the thoughts of my guest, Yinka Farounbi. What do you think? Do let's keep the conversation going online. Please feel free to write in or tweet at me. Don't forget that you can find these in past episodes of the program on our YouTube channel. I am Shola Shoyeli. Thank you for watching.